Hey, Paul.
Oh, hi. I
How are
didn't see
you?
you there. How wonderful to
Yeah,
see you.
it's
What's
good to
going
see
on?
you
This
too.
looks new.
Yes, it's a little cleaner. Maybe is that the right word?
What's going
Cleaner?
on? What
I don't know.
changed?
Yeah, we're trying some new software here. See if this actually works. And Lost Algorithm says hi.
Oh, hi, Lost
Um,
Algorithm.
yeah, uh, they were around yesterday for another stream I was on that you weren't
Oh,
there. Um,
oh.
and
Wait,
they helped
do
out
you
a
do
lot.
streams without me?
Believe it or not, I do. I'm sorry.
Wow.
Yeah,
I
no.
feel I feel I don't know what's the right word.
Betrayed.
Betrayed. Yes, that's the right
Yeah,
word. I
yeah,
feel
betrayed
betrayed.
right there. All right.
That's
Well,
okay.
before we go any farther, hey, who are you?
I am. It says right. Wait here. Wait, no. I'm going to stop trying that. I am Paul Tchaikovsky, and I am not smart enough to put my Twitter handle under my name like you. What do you want to know about me? I work at Red Hat. I'm a managed OpenShift black belt, and what that means is I help people break through issues and barriers they might have across our managed OpenShift portfolio.
Nice. And hi, I'm JJ.
Oh, hi,
And
JJ.
hi, I'm a developer advocate for the IBM Cloud, and I spend a lot of time playing with OpenShift and cloud native things in general. So, needless to say, Paul and we like to team up and try to spend some time learning some new stuff. So today we're going to actually revisit revisit what we did last week, and go back and hopefully jump into a couple other things that we weren't successfully able to do last week, but we should be able to do now because we may have actually tested a couple things. And then from there, maybe learn a little bit more around something called Rosa.
Oh boy, that
So,
sounds like fun.
oh, I know. Like always, if you have any questions or thoughts, don't hesitate to throw it in the chat. And now with this new piece of software, as you saw a moment ago, I can actually bring the things in to bring in the questions so we can answer it and talk about it. Oops, that's not what I meant to do.
Dang, you're fancy.
Yeah, so we're trying something new. It's going to be a little bit different, so bear with me on this stream. But we'll have some fun while we're doing it. And so okay, so Paul,
Yes.
what is Rosa?
Rosa is Red Hat OpenShift on AWS.
Okay.
And it is an Amazon native service. And so you don't come to Red Hat asking for Rosa. You go to Amazon. And if you just go to your Amazon console and you type in OpenShift, you'll actually see it as a service in the Amazon console.
Got it. Okay.
Now, if you want to buy OpenShift from Red Hat, managed or otherwise for AWS, you can do that as well. And we do that through OpenShift Dedicated. And Rosa and OpenShift Dedicated are effectively the same thing. It's just who you'd prefer to pay. So if you prefer to pay, say you're a big AWS customer and you have like a spend with AWS at like $6 million a year or whatever, and you can use that spend however you want. Or if you want OpenShift, you might as well just use part of that spend to run OpenShift rather than also having a relationship with Red Hat and having a spend with Red Hat as well. So it's really just who you want to buy it from.
Nice. Okay. So that makes a lot more sense now. So what I've done, so in essence, Rosa is the equivalent of me going to the IBM Cloud and being like, hey, give me an OpenShift cluster and call it a day.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's close to being the same thing as, what are we supposed to call it now? Red Hat OpenShift on IBM Cloud. Is that the correct title?
Yes, that sounds correct.
We used to call it ROX, and now we're supposed to call it ROIX or something. I don't know. Yeah. Now, it's not exactly the same, but like it's the same versions of OpenShift and everything. It's just the infrastructure looks a little bit different.
Okay.
So below OpenShift, it's a little bit different. above OpenShift, like where you're interfacing with it to run applications, it's exactly the same.
Awesome. Okay, cool. So what I've done is I've spun up a Rosa instance on my AWS account, which we're going to play with here in a second, because I've only gotten it working, which was surprisingly challenging for all of the different things I had to do, which I'll have a blog post about that soon. I ran into some interesting quota issues and whatnot trying to get it to work.
Yep.
And then,
now, did you use my team's secret, not so secret install guide?
Actually, no. I just
well, there's your problem right there.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. If you want to throw that into the chat, Paul, that'd be great. I just tried to do it from the ground up. I was like, I know what Rosa is. I know I need the CLI, and I went that way.
Yep.
But I got it up and running. But I actually have no idea how to get to it next, or after by closing the window. So we're going to start by rediscovering where my Rosa instance is. Then I have my IBM Cloud instance of OpenShift, and we're going to install two apps, or going to install an app on it. And we're going to use konveyor to migrate that app from AWS into OpenShift on IBM Cloud. The ultimate goal here, and spoiler alert, the whole point is that we want to show technically how easy it is to use the exact same platform on both different clouds and be able to get the same working app back and forth. Sound like a deal?
That does sound like a deal. Hey, in this new software, can I just post something in chat, or do I still need to go through?
I think you can. Give it a shot.
Oh, I don't see a place to put it, unfortunately.
Oh,
I only see
private
chat.
Oh, you only see private chat. You don't see the chat button.
Yeah. All right. Well, let me get the Twitch chat up so I can put that link in there.
Yeah.
In the meantime, you get your Tmux up and shared on your screen share.
Oops. That's not what I wanted. How about this one? That one works. Oh, is that about good enough size? Yep, it is. And I'm going to go ahead and drop the names and all that stuff. That goes away. I think people know who we are. And just to be on the safe side, I have a new screen to, put stuff up so we can actually hide our secrets again. Because God knows Paul and I are really bad about that. Really, really bad. Okay. So Rosa is a CLI command, as you can see here, that you can actually just install and tie up to your AWS backend. It's a Go CLI. It's pretty straightforward to install, but you also need to configure it and actually have working AWS credentials on your CLI also.
JJ, did you create a separate Tmux instead of joining the one I created?
You didn't have one on when I joined it.
Take my fist at the cloud.
So there we go. He's taking over. Yay. So we went ahead and updated the AWS command and also Rosa. So if you do, I'm assuming is it Rosa like describe cluster? Is that something like that command?
Yeah. So we can just do Rosa help, right, and see what's going on. So we can do Rosa list clusters. And that tells us what clusters are there. So if we want to know about this one specifically, we can do Rosa describe cluster -c my cluster. Right.
Good old lost algorithm. What if our tokens expire and I need a new one? Tokens do expire all the time. But hey,
that's just lost algorithm trying to get you to paste a token up to your
I know, right?
Windows so he can hack you again. I know his
tricks. No, that was Rex Roof. That was Rex Roof, but that's fine. So anyway, yeah, exactly. So already there is the console. I did not actually know this. This was not. I did not know you realize could just do Rosa describe cluster. I literally called it my cluster as a joke. The IBM Cloud defaults to the name of my cluster, so I thought it was funny to have one.
That's hilarious. You're so good at jokes.
I really am. The more I have to explain, the joke, it's always the better. So as you see, we did that, and so we got a question here. So is that
the Rosa CLI does not replace OC. So the Rosa CLI is specifically to create your cluster, and then OC is then to interact with your cluster. So as a cluster admin, I'll use the Rosa CLI. As a cluster user, you'll use the OC command.
And something that I actually made a mistake on, and I kind of want to just start here, is that it turns out when you create your new cluster and there's an IDT, so you can immediately like use OAuth using GitHub or whatever, which is what I've done here. And I OAuthed into one of my labs, and I've added Paul so you can do stuff too. But the interesting thing is you don't get added as cluster admin automatically.
Correct.
You actually have to create a cluster admin with a cluster admin command. But how do I add my user, JJ Asgar, to become a cluster admin? Do I just do that?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked. So when you created your Rosa cluster, you also either created an account or accessed your existing account on cloud.redhat.com.
This one right here?
Is that, I don't know, it looks really small to me. I can't see it.
Oh, yeah, this is cloud.redhat.com/OpenShift.
Oh, yeah. So first of all, you're showing your tokens.
Only portions of it. I checked that. Only portions of it. So screenshot if you want, but there's nothing, you can't really do anything with it.
Yeah. So under clusters, by the way, folks, let us know how the quality of the video is, if we need to adjust the resolution or anything. So yeah, you can see all the details about your cluster here. So there's a couple of things to know. First of all, there's an open console button, top right-hand corner. So if you have like 6 or 7 clusters running, you can see them all here, and you can just click straight through to the console.
Nice.
Right?
Nice.
If you pop back to here, if you click on access control, you see you've got 2 things you can do: add identity providers and add users. So I believe you created the identity provider through the CLI.
I did.
But you could have also done it here.
Got it.
Right? And then you can also add users to be cluster admins. So if you click on the add user button and you type in just your GitHub username, because we're using GitHub. And then, dude, why you gotta be so quick? I need to explain what the 2 things are.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
So there's 2 levels of administration. There's dedicated admin and there's cluster admins. So because this is a managed service, if you're a full cluster admin, you can change things that are then going to wake the Red Hat SREs or the Amazon SREs up that are responsible for making sure your cluster stays up. So only the super hardcore admin should ever get cluster admin. With dedicated admin, that's a slightly lower set of permissions that doesn't have access to cause mischief with things that the Red Hat SREs care about. Right?
Okay. So you're telling me you gave me dedicated admins all these times that we've had a Rosa cluster, huh?
I probably gave you cluster admin because I'm all for YOLOing stuff. I'm all for waking up SREs at night. That's their job, right? To get woken up at night.
Yeah, exactly. Pager.
They'd feel sad if they didn't get woken up at night. So in general, whoever creates the account would give themselves cluster admin. Most of the rest of the OpenShift management team would get dedicated admin. And then your end users wouldn't get either, because you'll manage them from inside the cluster just as regular developers. Right? So you can add me as whatever you want. I don't care.
Does it take effect immediately, or do I need to log out and log back in?
It should take effect right away.
It looks like it kicked me out, actually.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah. Go ahead and log in with GitHub, and now I should be able to see the better. Yeah, here we go. This is what I was hoping to see. The overview. There we go. See, I was not able to see that earlier, so that makes me feel a lot better now.
Yeah. And then if you pop back to the cloud, there's probably some other stuff we're going to look at there, the cloud.redhat.
Sure.
So if you click on add-ons.
Add-ons.
Yeah. So if you want to enable your logs to go to CloudWatch, you can just click through and add the logging operator. Don't bother doing it. And then if you want to have code-ready workspaces enabled, you can add it here as well. If you click through the network, go ahead.
Yeah. So the code-ready workspaces is also an operator you can install in through the operator hub.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
What's the advantage of it doing here compared to that?
It doesn't really matter either way.
Okay. Good enough for me.
Yeah.
No, not working?
Yep. So here, this is just telling you what your network is and if you want it to be private or public. So you can make your cluster completely private. So you have to have like backend VPC access to access it, or you can have it public. Right now it's public. You'll want to keep it that way. And if you want to have a second application router, you can add a second application router here, and it will create a second domain and a second set of certificates, right? And that's going to be based off the mycluster.usux p1openshiftabs.com. So that is a subdomain that is created inside of your Amazon account using Wrap53 and is used to manage the API, control plane, etc. Access. But we don't need to do anything there. If you want to mess with the size of the cluster, you can do that from machine pools.
So,
right?
I don't actually know, like, what is that size, like in like the CPUs and memory?
I don't know. Some amount.
Yeah, I just
magic AWS numbers. Yeah. Probably like 2 or 4 CPUs and a bunch of RAM. Yeah, so you can click on the 3 dots and edit it. Scale it. And then you can also add another machine pool. So if you wanted to have one of small machines with small RAM, one with big machines with big RAM, you can do different machine pools, and then you can use affinity and stuff in your cluster, pod affinity, to decide what stuff goes on what machine pool. You can auto scale your machine pools. So you could say minimum of 2, maximum of 6 if you wanted to. And that would sort of try and keep your cluster size optimized for your workloads. The only other thing we should probably look at here is if you click on, I think, support.
Hey, Lost Algorithm, thank you so much for that. An MX4 is 4 CPUs, 16 gigs. So the standard size that everyone kind of defaults to. Thanks for that, Lost Algorithm. Go to, what was it? Sorry, support? Support
or settings. There's a place where you can update your cluster if it needs updating. I don't know what version you're currently running. So you see update strategy. So you're up to date right now, so you don't have to worry about it. But you can, if you switch to automatic, and then if you then leave it on Sundays and no draining 1 hour, hit save. So anytime there is a new update to Rosa, your cluster will now be automatically updated the following Sunday at that time.
Nice.
So now your cluster is always going to be up to date within a week of the OpenShift version that Rosa currently supports.
Nice.
Which is always pretty handy. So I think that's probably enough about Rosa and managing it, right? We got a pretty good idea what's going on.
Yeah. And I have to admit, this I didn't actually go through this interface at all. I just kind of got the key and just installed it and was like, hey, I got it working. All right, time for coffee.
I figured that would be the case. And so the good thing here is you can actually add unmanaged OpenShift clusters. So we could add your IBM clusters here. We could also add, I think we can add regular Kubernetes clusters here as well.
Okay, let's take a quick aside and do that. It'd be really interesting to see. Here's the IBM Cloud, OpenShift cluster. I went completely brain dead there. So it'd be really neat.
Sure.
That's not good.
Oh, something went wrong.
Yeah. What? I'm gonna pull that one over here. I'll go take a look at that in a second. Hey, okay, so while I'm doing that, Paul, do you want to just talk about conveyor to figure out what the hell's going on with that cluster?
Sure. What do we know? What do we want to know about conveyor?
What is it, and what is the ultimate goal? Start there.
Hey, why don't while you figure it out, why don't you unshare your screen and I'll share my screen.
Ooh, yeah, we can do that now,
We
can't
can do
we?
that.
Ooh, I like it. Yeah. All right, there we go. There we go. No, what a hop in there. We'll figure that out. Ooh, and I went kind of red. That's not good. All right,
so in theory, I'm sharing my screen now.
You are now. Oh.
What do we want to know? So we're going to be looking at the MIG operator, which is part of conveyor. Let's bring up conveyor itself. Conveyor is a set of tools meant to help you use Kubernetes once you have Kubernetes, whether it's OpenShift or not. So there are ways to take containers and move them from one cluster to another. And that can be useful if you're, say, doing a major version upgrade, like you're going from OpenShift 3 to OpenShift 4. It can also be useful if you just want to move one application from, say, AWS to Azure, or from Azure to IBM Cloud or whatever. As long as you've got a Kubernetes cluster running in both, you can do that. Forklift is a way to, if you have a cluster that has kubevert enabled, to actually basically slurp up a virtual machine and then dump it into Kubernetes using kubevert. We have move to kube, which is going to help you actually re-platform your applications to Kubernetes. And there is tackle, which helps you refactor your applications to Kubernetes. So, you know, re-platform is you're not really changing your app, you're just making it Kubernetes friendly as far as getting it into a container and stuff. Whereas refactor is actually going to help you modify and modernize your app to make it more ready to run on Kubernetes. And then there's this Polaris tool, which is basically, it helps you measure the performance of your software delivery pipelines on Kubernetes. So as you move stuff into Kubernetes, you can kind of get a good idea of like how much more often you're capable of deploying to production, etc. So we're going to be looking at Crane, and Crane uses the MIG operator, which is the OpenShift migration operator. I guess they're probably renaming it from MIG to Crane, and they just haven't fully done that rename yet. And so it basically takes Valero and a couple of other things. So Valero is a Kubernetes backup tool, and it effectively helps back up a set of namespaces from one cluster and then restore them to another cluster. That's kind of the goal there. And then we have some instructions on how to install it and use it based on what we want to do. If you have OpenShift 4, you can install it directly via Operator Hub. For the supported versions, you can go ahead and like YOLO a more recent version like so. And that's pretty much it. JJ, how are you doing? You got your cluster sorted?
Yeah, I think I'm actually pretty much there. I'm just logging in right now.
All right.
And it looks like somebody decided to take a smoke break on me. So give me 2 seconds here. Copy. Paste that in. There we go. Okay. So when we close this.
All right. You want me to give you the screen share back?
If you don't mind, sir. All right, here we go. So this is our IBM Cloud OpenShift instance. As you can see, the IAM rule is up here in different, and it says it doesn't actually say AWS anymore compared to the one over here, which is kind of interesting. So Paul, before we get conveyor up, and running, because again we're starting from scratch here. I do want to throw this into this manager. So how do I do that?
That is a very good question. I think if you just click back to like the main clusters.
Main clusters. Okay.
Yeah. And
Register
click
cluster.
register cluster.
Cluster ID.
Just hover over cluster ID. I'm not sure what it's asking you. It just probably does once. There you go. So if you go to the other cluster, you're looking for the about.
About.
Ooh,
here we go. Cluster ID.
So grab that.
Paste. We'll call this my cluster 2.
Well,
and
you should.
Web.
Sure, that works. And then the web console, whatever your web console is.
This guy up here?
Yep, just without all the extra slashes and stuff at the end.
Like that?
Yep. And then click on
Register.
Oh, the rest is all grayed out, is it?
It looks like it. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I think in theory, it'll at some point figure out that. Okay. So it looks like when you use rocks, it already registers it somewhere. So somewhere in an account, you have it registered.
Oh, okay. Not a big deal.
Yeah. So we would probably need to dig into. There's probably some IBM docs on how to do that.
Yep. Well, we'll move on. It's fine.
Sure.
Okay. So after that nice overview of konveyor, I'm going to shoot through this a little bit faster than we did last week because we've already done it once. So I'm going to go ahead and go to the operators like we did. The operator hub on both. And then konveyor. Continue on konveyor. Continue and install. Is that right?
Install.
All right, here we go. Well, that's going. Hey, look how much faster that was too. I bet somebody watched our stream last week and like, that seems weird. We should fix that. Let's fix it. And all of a sudden, it's all worked. Just saying. So do you want to go ahead and in the background on the?
Do you want to actually install it?
Did I not do that? I did not. I was going to say we could. You can start getting the actual app up and running on that side too.
Oh yeah. So what you'll want to do is register the OC in the CLI.
I believe I already did. You able to check that?
CTX. Oh, I can't type. What did you call it? Yeah, I don't see it.
Give me a second. I'll hop over there in a second.
You mind if I just? I'm gonna move your kube config file so we get a fresh one.
Sure.
Yeah. So if you bring up your little secret thing and you click on your login name, there should be a section to copy the token across. And if you put a space in front of the command in shell, it'll make sure it doesn't show up in your history. So if you do a bunch of like up and stuff, it doesn't accidentally show it off.
And that's the first one. I'll put that over there. So there's one. And then copy login command. You can go away. And like always, if anyone has any questions or thoughts, don't hesitate to throw them in the chat. We're more than welcome to keep that conversation going too. There you go.
Okay. So now if I do kube CTX, you can undo the thing now.
Give me a second, just bringing the window screens back. And 10 points to whatever house figures out where that screen is from. It's a nice little bit of trivia there.
So if I do, let me think about what I want to do here. I might just open up a console. Why don't you unshare and let me share my screen, and I'll get a couple of apps running, and people can watch what I'm doing.
Perfect. Give me 1 second. It's almost like we planned this. Unshared the screen. And then bring you in. There we go.
There I am.
It's all you, buddy.
All right. So as a developer, so you see I've got developer mode in. I can create a couple of projects. So I'm going to call one Project A. I'm going to create another project called Project B. And then I'm going to switch back to Project A. I'm going to come to my samples here. And I can pretty much just pick like a sample application to deploy. And that will get, OpenShift will basically fetch it from GitHub and build the image and then deploy it. So if we hit create there, you can see it now shows up here. And this is a light blue color around it, which means it's not ready yet. This icon right here is showing us the build is running, but it's not ready yet. So if we can actually hit there and we can actually see the stream of the build. And I can also do namespace to project A and do a kget pods. And you can see that there is a build running. And then you can see this one is saying there's an error image pull. And that is because the build isn't complete yet. And therefore there isn't an image for it to pull yet. So that's just kind of Kubernetes sort of sorting itself out as it goes through. But you can see here now it says the build is complete. So I can pop back to builds. Pop back to topology. And you can see that it's now got a dark blue and it says running. And this little button here says open URL, and I can do that. And here is my application.
Huzzah!
Now it says not secure. Can I do this?
Hey, Paul, do you mind making things a little bit bigger? We're not
sure. Okay, so by default, this was just a standard HTTP. We could have told it to be HTTPS and gotten a certificate. And there's a Let's Encrypt certificate for this domain. So that's pretty easy to set up. Is that bigger enough?
A little bit more.
All right. So if I do a kget pods now, you'll see it's running. If I do a kget route, you can see there's my my app right there. I guess the other thing now, if I can change to project. Actually, you know what? Last time we only got to even trying to do one, so I won't even worry about a second app yet. How are our operators going?
Looks like we've got them both installed. I haven't actually done the rest of the process, which was what is the next thing? Let me bring up those docs again. I should have been doing that in the background. My bad.
Yeah. So let me unshare, and you can take back over.
All right. There. All right. So we need to go to projects. And we are playing with Crane.
Yeah, MIG operator is what you're looking for.
MIG. That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Where'd it go?
Oh, so MIG operator is part of crane. So
Yeah.
So click on crane, and then there was a button
Getting
for
stuff.
code.
Yeah. Here we go. The pump's beeping at me again. Gotta always want that. All right, and then we're gonna go ahead.
Install instructions.
Install instructions, which was that one. Which
it was in the. I think there's instructions in the heading somewhere. No.
Install crane components. Oh yeah, here we go. So install operators, click crane operator. Wait, this is forklift. Install the wrong thing.
Oh, JJ. Oh, JJ.
No, come on.
Oh my goodness.
Story of my life.
What is wrong with you?
Ugh. All right, so back to the operator hub. And this is called the conveyor, right?
Well, it's part of conveyor. Maybe look for crane.
Oh my God. Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
And try this again.
Good job.
My bad.
Look, I feel like Lost Algorithm could have caught you on that. So I'm gonna blame him. We rely on Lost Algorithm to keep us on the straight and narrow. So it's totally his fault.
It's true. All right, here we go. Now we're actually installing crane here. All right.
I think it was pretty quick to install last time, so I'm not too worried.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the operator hub didn't show up in one of them. Not going to say which one. Not going to say which one, but the operator hub did work on one. You can watch the previous video if you so desire to see.
I'm just here to complain about the cloud. Aren't we all? Aren't we all?
Oh, that's brilliant. I like it. I like it. And here we go. View this operator. And go ahead and close that. Bring this out so we can.
So we want the migration controller?
Yep. That is M for migration is migration controller.
Under migration controller, there should be like a create resource.
There was not.
What?
There is not.
Right.
There is one on this side. We're going to just need to refresh this. Migration controller. According to Lost Algorithm, it was MIG controller earlier. I think that sounds right. That sounds right. There we go. Migration controllers here now. Okay. And then, because I can't type anything in my life. All right. So then
you gotta hit create.
Yeah, there's nothing else, right? Just making sure.
Well,
you don't have to change any of the.
There's nothing else for you to change.
Well, we can change this YAML view if there's any options we need to change.
Dude, if it's gonna try and tell us to change YAML, I'm gonna write a letter to my congressman.
Hey, it does. It actually says customize settings in the YAML of it all and hit create. So, you know. Okay. I'll take care of that Zoom here in just a second.
Enhance. Enhance.
There we go. And we are reconciling.
Yep. Nope, that's all good. So what's next?
What is next? We're doing the additional settings now, and we are going
So
to.
I feel like this might be where we go to they had like a guide on using it, and I think that's where we go to next.
The direct migration or indirect migration? We want to do the
I
indirect
think
one, right?
we want to do indirect, because direct, they need to have access to each other's registries.
We still need to actually wait for this thing to come up and actually be installed. So that's reconciled, which is good. Or no, it's reconciled.
We don't need to wait.
And actually,
this is Kubernetes.
No?
There's no waiting. It'll just figure it out as we go along.
There you go. All right. So I will make this a little bit bigger. Or Paul, do you want to take over and start driving again?
Sure. So let me go ahead and create a two directories so we know which cluster we're applying to.
Really, IBS? Really?
Did I really do that?
Yeah, you did.
I mean, it's canon now. Nothing I can do. So I probably need to bring up that same doc.
I'll go ahead and throw this in the chat too. If anyone wants to take along and see what we're doing.
Oops. Sorry, I just lost my windows. Okay.
Sean, I'm not going to answer your thing about giveaways. You're just going to get me in trouble.
Oh, yeah, we're totally doing giveaways. IBM is actually giving away a Kubernetes certification of your choice for first prize. And for second prize, you are getting 2 Kubernetes certifications of your choice.
Paul is not speaking for IBM right now.
I'm not?
Anyway. So can we see the screen should be big enough now. And so the first thing we need to do is create that destination MIG cluster.
Yes, I was going to let you do that because I can't copy and paste from your screen.
Oh, sorry, my bad. My bad.
I mean, I'm good, but I'm not that good. And unless you want me to like hand type these out.
There we go. And I believe we don't actually have to change anything, right? So we want to turn the host cluster to be AWS. So we should be able to just do the OC create right here. What? IBM is still reconciling, but AWS is reconciled, and it threw an error.
Uh-oh. What's the error? Host already exists.
I just did the default here. I'm assuming the name needs to be something different.
No, it should be fine. Do a kubectl get mid cluster and see what you get.
Oh, don't we need to be in a specific namespace for this? Like the.
You probably do. I think it was the OpenShift -migration.
Oh, yeah. It automatically created it for us.
Oh, that's new since last time, right?
Yeah, that is. Yeah. You want to put an issue in? See if they fix that problem too? Don't like my jokes.
Yeah. No, let's keep going, because so the problem is this isn't really like a proper like step-by-step guide, because there's already a bunch of stuff, like their apps and stuff they're going to tell us to migrate already exist, but we don't know what it is. So I think what we should do is once we've figured this out, is we should write our own how-to guide and then offer that to them as a pull request or whatever.
Yeah. Oh, did you put this in already?
Yeah, I'm trying to get a little bit of a head for you, so you've got some stuff going.
Right, so I'm going to throw up the screen again.
Right, and you need to run that command in the IBM cluster.
All right. So, all right. Yeah, sorry about that lost algorithm. Something's kind of gone funky on us, but you should be able to see stuff now. If anything, you should be able to see my mouse moving around. We are copying and pasting a bunch of code into this thing. Okay, so let's go ahead and create that secret. There we go. We've created the secret on the local machine.
Oh, hang on. Did you base 64 it?
Yeah, well, I did whatever the command was.
Okay, hang on.
Yeah, no, it does basics.
Yeah, just reapply it for me. Just
Perfect.
OC apply -F. That's fine.
Yeah, that's what we were looking for. That was a lot of warning.
Yeah. So with that done, you can do the source mig cluster, and for that, this is where we start being different. So we call this destination, and then we need to. It's got the token remote set, and you need to set the URL, which is the OpenShift API for the remote cluster.
API for the remote cluster. So that is this one. Just give me it easily here, or do I need to pull it from the CLI? Here we go. Cluster API address.
Yeah, that's what he's looking for.
All right.
Yeah.
Wait, again, it says insecure true. Do we care about that?
Wait, hang on. Dude, look what you did.
Oh, come on, really? Did I make it worse?
Amateur hour.
Oh, no. Like this.
No, oh my God.
Look,
you suck
right
so
here.
much.
It's right here.
Yeah, so you did two things wrong. Look at the URL. Look at the actual contents of the URL that you pasted in.
Oh, haha. Oh, story of my life right there. There you go.
All right.
And the insecure doesn't matter, right?
You know what? Let's just comment that out.
Okay.
Right. And so I think we're good with this. So you can exit out, and you can apply that.
That looks good.
Right. Now I think we can do a OC describe of that, right? To make sure that it's up.
Cluster.
Cluster. And
it's ready.
Well, so you've done both because there's two.
Oh.
So you want to call the other one, what do we call it? Destination?
Destination, yep. I think cluster.destination, right? No.
Mid-cluster space destination. Is this your first time using Kubernetes?
I think it is. Yes. Jeez. Destin. There we go. Ready?
Yeah. Yeah, so Lost Algorithm just mentioned that the screen share is lagging a little bit. And interesting, I'm seeing that lag as well. So it's definitely, JJ, is your upstream signal a bit iffy? How many bars do you have on your?
6 out of 10 according to Restream.
Well, it doesn't seem too bad. Anyway, it's good enough I can follow you, so I wouldn't worry too much.
Yeah. God, I really do need to figure. I really genuinely spent a good amount of time testing my upstream again.
Are you wired or are you wireless?
Yeah, no, I'm wired. As you see, my Wi-Fi is off right here.
Yeah. Okay.
In the corner. So.
I don't know what to tell you. Yeah. All right. So what did we do? We did the create on the mid cluster.
Yep.
And so now we need a storage secret. And actually, remember there was the other thing we tried creating the issue for.
Oh, that was supposed to be in US East 2, right?
Well, wherever we create the storage, did you pre-create the storage?
No, I did not.
Okay, let's go ahead and do that. So you'll need to bring up the AWS console.
Hang on.
Tick tock, tick tock.
All right, give me a minute. Come on.
Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, tick.
All right, here we go.
Tock, tick tock. All right, so you'll go to, so there's two things you need to do. You need to start at S3 and create a bucket.
S3.
So if you look at the top there, perfect, S3. And then make sure your region is set to US East 1.
US East 2. Or
no, US East 1.
It says S3 does not require region selection.
Okay, so it must just be when we create a bucket. So where do we hit create bucket? Here you've got a region choice. So you want US East 1.
That is a different region than this cluster is in.
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Otherwise, we need to go and find that config setting that was different.
Yeah.
It's just easier not to. Now, does it have to be unique? I can't remember. Do like konveyor-jj or something that probably someone's never done before.
What that?
Yeah. And then I think you can leave it all as defaults beyond that.
Good.
And then hit create source. And then copy and paste that konveyor-jj name. And then you'll want to edit the, there's a mig storage creds. Oh, wait, no, never mind. It doesn't go in there. It must go somewhere else. So we'll come back to that. But next thing you need to do is create creds. So if you go to IAM now.
Okay.
And your font size is probably tiny, so people probably can't see what you're doing. But that's fine.
I'm in IAM now.
Yep. And so what you need to do is, ideally, you would create a user and give that user really locked down access. But for now, if you just go to your JJ user that you're currently logged in as. What are you doing?
And get my access key.
What are you doing?
Moving it away.
You don't want us to see? No, don't create a new access key.
Create a new one. Okay.
Yeah, create a new one, because that way you don't have to destroy the one you're currently using.
Got it.
For your regular auth.
All right, cool. So I'm going to throw this one more time back up. I'm going to put that inside the thing.
Yeah.
Obviously not so people can see it.
Yeah. Now, you don't have to worry about base64 encoding it, because I've set the secret type to be string data.
Ah, cool. Nice.
So there should be an AWS access key ID and an AWS secret access key. If you just paste in there.
Does it need to be in quotes?
You can put it in quotes if it makes you feel better.
Oh, there's no like weird characters in this one, so that's good.
Yeah. Yeah, it's base64 encoded, so there'll never be weird characters in it. That's the whole point.
Cool.
But AWS keys are base64 encoded already. So if you can double base64 encode it, but you can also just set the secret type to be string data and not worry about it.
Got it. Cool. All right, so then we can just create it, right?
Yes.
Okay, create, href, mig, storage creds. There we go.
Yep. So what are our next steps?
We need to make sure the storage instance is ready. So oc get mig storage.
We haven't created mig storage.
I just did.
No, you created the creds, not the storage. Did we miss a step?
Well played, sir. Well played. You are right. We did not create this file yet. We haven't added the bucket or anything, so I'll do vim mig storage.yaml. Paste. Grab all this. Copy. Dump. Big storage creds. Big. This is that bucket name. I did as I'm just going to grab it again because God knows I spelled something wrong.
He's learning.
Not just a pretty face, Paul. I have ideas. Thank you very much.
Do you?
No, I don't. All right. Let's grab that mig storage. There we go. And then we can do oc get mig storage. And things are ready. Well, that was fast.
All right.
Yeah.
So now we create a migration plan.
All right, so
now, I'm going to do you a favor. Let me create that for you, so you're not fighting Vim.
Oh yeah, we're going to have to change out the namespace, I'm assuming.
Yeah. So we're going to call it migrate project A. Our source and destination is different.
Yep.
Let me pop this up here. So our source cluster is going to be, what is it going to be? You know what? Let me share my screen.
All right.
And we'll work our way through it. Right. So our source mig cluster ref is Get mig clusters. We have one called host and one called destination. So our source is called host, and our destination is called destination. And we have indirect migration turned on for both, which I think is correct. Our MIG storage name, did that stay the same?
Yes.
Okay, get MIG storage AWS S3, that is correct. And our namespaces is project A. Now, I'm not sure what the deal is here because we don't have any persistent volumes.
Didn't it get angry at us last time when we were messing with that?
Sure, but like this is, you can see this is specifically named PVC with like the name of Postgres.
Mm.
So this is their example app that they don't actually provide us.
Yep.
So, but what we do know is we have a namespace called Project A.
Yep.
I'm hoping we can now do so k apply -f mig plan.yaml. And we're going to do k describe mig plan migrate project A.
Is it just me or is nothing happening? Oh no, you copy and pasted something in there.
So we should be seeing some stuff happening and showing up in like status or something. But I guess we're not. What does our MIG operator instructions have to say next? Oop, maybe a bit too big.
Create the MIG plan and then
execute the migration. Ah! So we made a plan, we need to actually execute it.
yes. Kind of like the pipeline run and pipeline in
execute.yaml. Right, and so we called this migrate project A. And we can do execute, so it's very specific. Spec, blah, blah, blah. So k apply -f mig and execute.yaml. Right. So now I've executed it.
You can monitor progress of the migration itinerary by performing OC describe on the MIG migration instance.
Yeah.
And that's literally where they end.
MIG migration. And then migrate project A, execute. Okay.
Message not started. That's not.
F or a dash watch. What's the?
It looks like we just have to do up arrow. Waiting for refresh. Waiting for that pipeline. Right. That's the status. Right there.
But we can look at get pods, logs of this. OC logs. OC MTC. How do we actually see? Oh wait, migration UI. Is there a
Yeah, I was about to say, what is that?
service? Migration UI, cluster IP, kget route. Ooh, open that. Oh, I've got a browser here.
Hey, Nibs. Yeah, we are working with Konveyor, migrating a application from OpenShift on AWS or Rosa, Red Hat OpenShift on AWS, to OpenShift on IBM Cloud. And we failed horribly last week, but we are trying again today, and we've actually got the UI up.
Yeah, so this is the UI. And I don't know if you noticed, but when I logged in, it actually made me re-authenticate to my cluster, which is good because that means it inherits the cluster's auth. So there we can see the two clusters we've connected. We can see that we've got a storage for our replication. You can see we have a migration plan, and you can see the migration is running. And so if we hit logs here, oh, boo.
Yeah, well, I mean, you do, I guess, source maybe. It's the same logs you were seeing earlier.
Yeah, okay. Source. See, I don't know which one we should be looking at.
Well, I mean, if you go back to that describe also, that describe has like the actual steps of the pipeline.
Yeah, I was hoping for like a real-time log of what was going on.
Mm.
Yeah, that's not useful. Thanks for nothing. I mean, it shows us there's a migration running. It would just be nice if... No, there's nothing. These are all commands.
Oh, okay.
Not types of logs. All right, well...
Waiting for stale service pod, stage pod terminated. That doesn't sound good. And that's been going for 4 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, you know, as long as it's not giving us errors, I guess.
Yeah.
So where are the stale stage pods?
Oh, you like that bottom one running? Step 4 of 48.
Yeah. Oh, look here. This is a new thing. It's spinning.
Oh, it is.
It's spinning up a registry, and I bet it's going to copy the my words at. It's going to copy the images into this registry, and then it's probably going to take a backup of this registry, and it's going to ship it, and then it's going to load it up and then restore it on the new cluster.
Yeah.
And that's probably how it's handling the images.
Nice. All right.
Yeah, and so it's now...
Oh, and Cloud Secret Propagate. Yep. Wow. I mean, I don't want to jinx this here, but damn.
It appears like we're doing stuff. I just wish we could actually see the... Wait, what's this?
Just watch that. Yeah, get pods. Watch this, and we'll see the new pods spinning up and down, right?
I think this is what we want. Checking registry health. Yeah, this is the what. This is what we were looking for. This is the log we wanted.
Nice.
Right. So we could do. It's fine.
Not 100% sure how long this is going to take, but we're going to sit here and watch it and make sure that it does it, because that's the whole point. And there's nothing stopping us from turning this into a blog post with all the commands and all, because this is an actual, like, or hell, we could just probably maybe we could just put a link to it in the, like, if you want to do a real tutorial of somebody figuring this out, because it's not too, like, we didn't make too many mistakes.
Dude, okay, so we're not gonna tell people, here, watch this hour-and-a-half video of these two jokers doing a bunch of dumb crap.
You never know. You never know.
We should do two things. We should edit this down to be just the important bits, and then we should write a tutorial for this based on what we've done.
Yeah.
Because we do have the manifests, right? So that's half the work done.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point. And you did do the demo app from the Python demo app, so yeah. And any OpenShift cluster should be able to do this now.
Exactly.
So, well, I should say any OpenShift cluster from AWS to what OpenShift cluster is.
You know what I think would be really interesting?
What's that?
Is to actually use what's the S3 thing on Kubernetes?
Minio?
Minio is to use Minio to handle the moving instead of the bucket. And that way we wouldn't need extra S3 credentials.
Nibs coming in with the answer.
Yeah.
Minio.
Yeah. I mean, he waited till you answered and then just said what you said, but that's classic Nibs.
It's true. So true.
Classic
I know,
Nibs.
right? Like, just riding on my coattails. That's all Nibs has. I love you, Nibs. You know that, buddy. We're getting somewhere. We're getting somewhere here.
So while that's doing that, if we do a new window, get pods, k-n project a get pods. I wonder if we see anything new in here. Oh, look, it's gone.
Yeah. Is that what we want, though?
Well, I guess it removed it. Interesting. You'd think it would wait until it was up at the new place and then remove it.
Yeah, me too.
And that would give me the chance to do like magic load balancer stuff.
Exactly.
But then maybe that's why there was the option in, let me pop back to here. There was this stage option. I wonder if we had have said true here, if it would keep it up at the old place.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right, Nibs. We get neither. Because, yeah, if the migration fails now, that probably means that we lose out.
Yep.
Failing it.
Things are still happening, though, so that's a good sign. Checking registry health, that sounds important.
That describes, say, combined from similar events, whatever that means.
Here's a good question. Lost Algorithm comes in with, we're going to try to roll back to the source cluster. We did see a rollback.
That's true. Button. There was a rollback button, so maybe.
Yeah. We're not quite there yet. I think we're still in the middle of a migration. And what's the best thing to do in the middle of a migration? Hit Control-C and try to roll back. Always works. All the time. It never works. Never do that. Don't do that. Never listen to me.
No, never, ever listen to JJ. Hopefully this doesn't break anything. K-n project a get. Come on.
Maybe.
Look.
I mean, that looks pretty good.
That's a pod.
Yeah.
That has been running for 37 seconds.
With the same name as the migrated one. And Lost Algorithm really does kind of, I think that feels, I think we deserve that cheering emoji. I guess it's
If
not emoji.
only you had a GIF for it's working.
Man, you should. Yeah, I knew you were gonna throw that back in my face. Knew you were.
You should ask
Completely
Nibs.
disappeared on me,
You should ask
man.
Nibs if Nibs still has it.
Well, good question. Yeah. Hey, Nibs, do you still have the It's Working video by any chance? Because I seems to have disappeared from my backups. Oh, there it
See,
is.
I
He
knew
still
he
has
would
it.
have it.
Perfect. Nibs coming in with a save.
Hmm. Oh, I just realized that's not a pod. That's an image stream. So that's it actually getting the image across.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why I thought it was because I did get all. I'm not used to custom
It's fine.
resources jamming themselves into all.
Yep.
It's a bit intrusive.
It's a little bit.
Fanboy boys.
Aggressive.
I'm looking for it, Nibs. We're waiting for it. When you find it, you can email it to. Oh wait, you can't email it to JJ because JJ hasn't had working email for 3 weeks.
Boo! Boo!
Boo!
Gonna have to edit that part out.
Oops. I don't know why your Gmail's been down for 3 weeks, JJ. Don't know why.
There you go. There you go.
There you go. Is that a save? Did I save it?
Not really. Not really.
No.
Oh, Nibs, we can have a conversation about that another time, buddy.
So where are we? So let's get back to the source here.
Let's check that describe again.
Describe.
What?
No, it's because it's because OC project OpenShift migration.
Oh, okay. You're on the IBM Cloud. You didn't.
I changed. This is the worst day of my life. Now I can change my project. Already there, and now I can do. Yay! Oh, we're at step 38 out of 48. We're nearly there.
Huzzah!
This is a long time to back up and restore a stateless 100-line Python app.
All we need is a nice little Hugo app sitting there and be like, yeah, it's going to take 7 hours to transfer this container across, but it's all automated. Why don't you just upload it to Docker Hub and run like deployment.yaml against it again? Shh. This is automated. Shh. It's okay.
Well, no, this is enterprise, man. This is it sitting in our enterprise registry. It's been built by itself. You know, you don't want to stick your important secret Python example app up on a Docker registry for anyone to steal.
Or as Lost Algorithm so aptly puts it, we don't compile stuff anymore with the cloud. How do we have time to make coffee? So it's a very good point. Very good point.
We migrate those apps from one cluster to another, and that gives us plenty of time for coffee.
Ample time. 13 minutes right now. Not bad.
Is that it? There it is. Make it bigger. There we go. Can you read it now?
Yeah, very small. Very small. Delete registries. So it's a good sign. So already using this new software has increased
the migration has completed successfully.
Hey.
So now,
nice.
If we do OC project, if I can spell get all. Okay, so it's still running on the old one. I don't know why it was missing. Was I just being stupid? I was probably just in the wrong namespace or something stupid. So let's now change back to IBM and do a k-n project a get all. Whoa, dude. So now, if we get to this, open up an internet web browser, and we put in this URL. Wah, 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 wah. No, I think that's just because it's not a HTTPS. Let's try again. There she blows.
All right, hang on.
We did it. Yay. We did it.
Where did it go? Oh no.
Oh, JJ.
I'm trying to be funny and it's not working.
Nibalizer.
So if you give me the screen back here, or I'll just drop your screen now real quick.
No, I'm gonna. Oh, whatever.
Oh, you were bringing it up? Okay. All
No,
right,
no, I'm gonna give it to you. You can do it. F that guy.
There we go.
Whoa! Look at that hair.
I know, right?
That's pre-pandemic. Don't care.
Yeah, man. That's that is glorious in so many ways. So many ways. And believe it or not, it turns out this does sound like he's actually saying it's working. But for whatever reason, I don't have the sound pop through, so whatever. Anyway. So all right, Paul. We have to end on a high note.
Dude,
right?
let's end on a high note.
Yeah. All right.
If
So
we pretend last week didn't happen, this is 3 in a row that have been successful.
I believe that's accurate because last week did not happen.
No, last week did not happen. There is literally no proof of last week happening.
Well, it's
mostly
really
because
shocking.
your video was so bad.
It's so true. It's so true. Hopefully this one's better, and we are working on trying to make this better for everybody. And Lost Algorithm, thank you for sticking around.
Thanks for sticking around, folks. Lost Algorithm, Nibs. Who else did we see? We saw the Godfrey something or other. Thank God for free or whatever it was. Freedom fries, whatever it was. I don't know. Whatever his name was. Nobody cares.
We miss you too, Nibs. We miss you too. So yeah, we'll be back next week like we always are, and we'll keep pushing forward. This is a good time, Paul, and let's see if we can actually make that cut it down and also get that PR up with a full tutorial.
Yeah, if you want to shoot me the video, I will. I'll cut it down for us.
All right, cool. That works. Awesome.
You do enough of the administrivia. I can help out.
Yes.
Oh, there he is. Wake up, Godfrey. I was close. Thank God for freedom fries. Oh, close enough.
Close enough.
Whatever.
Yeah.
That fucking guy.
I know.
All right, bye.